Today, I'm putting a theory to the test. We're gonna see if dramatically reducing the number of ads on a website can actually increase that website's revenue. So here's the deal. This website has been hit by Google algorithm updates. As you can see, it survived this March update, but in the fall, it lost over 50% of its traffic. One of the things that I think is causing this is the fact that it's monetized so heavily through ads and not so much through other means. So today we're gonna take a look at those ads and see if we can improve them. Now, when I look at the website here, it looks beautiful. But if I go to another browser where I'm not logged in, we can see what the real story looks like. The homepage is already clean, and that's a good thing. In fact, I believe that was based off of a prior recommendation. I don't like a bunch of ads on the homepage. In fact, I'd prefer just exclude that page entirely from your ads in most cases. But when we go to any of the blog posts, we immediately see ads everywhere. I mean, look at that. At this point, this page is probably 80+% ads with very little actual content. It also drives me a little bit crazy. I don't love how this looks, where Ezoic, in order to allow the ads to slide with you and just stay on the page slightly longer, they create this space, but they have to have this kind of grayed out background. And to me, it makes it look bad. If I could just make that white space, I actually think it would look okay, but I don't love this big gray background. It looks like I did a bad job of designing my website. Now, when I say I'm not saying this is my website, it's not. It belongs to a Project 24 member, Lucy, who has put years of work into this website based on her personal experience and expertise with horses. But because it looks too much like all the other crummy affiliate websites out on the internet, it just isn't getting the love that it deserves. At least not anymore. So here's what we're doing in this video. We're going to modify the current ad layout as well as all the ad placements in order to comply entirely with the standards of the Coalition for Better Ads. If you're not familiar, the Coalition for Better Ads sort of sets the standard for what makes for a reasonable and good ad experience on a website. They have standards here for desktop and then even more standards here for mobile, I think because it's just so easy to get very intrusive with ads on a mobile device. The big rule of thumb here that we want to make sure we stick to is make sure that the ad density is less than 30%, meaning 30% or less of the screen at any given time should be displaying ads. And that isn't just like on an average for a blog post, that's anywhere. So at the most ad dense place on a blog post, like maybe right here in this case, we would want the ad density to be less than 30%, especially on a mobile device. Now, to be honest, I don't think that just complying with the Coalition for Better Ads standards is necessarily going to cause Google to rank this content better or believe it to not be spammy. But what my goal here is to create a much better user experience, because we've been talking about building a brand and having a reputation. And so if we can make the experience on the website be much more positive, I'm confident that users are going to want to click through to more pages on the website. They're going to stay longer, they're going to engage more, and well, see more ads, even though there's fewer ads to be displayed at any time. But in order to help us with this process, I decided to run a poll in our community on YouTube. You may have participated in that poll to help us determine which of those ads you find to be most intrusive, which things you feel like we could reduce to help make it a better user experience. We're all internet users, so you know what you like and dislike, and I was curious to see what people would say. So your input is going to determine, to some extent, which ads I remove from this website. So next, we're going to go see those results. All right, real quick, this is Future Ricky jumping in to tell you how that poll went. It turns out that for the most part, what you wanted me to get rid of was reduce the number of in-content ads, and then you didn't like the video ads, which I totally get. To me, they're the most disruptive. I didn't remove the video ad, but I do have it now set so that there are fewer ads. I don't have a side rail on the right side. I removed a lot of the in-content ads. We've made sure that there are no interstitial ads and none of the other things that violate the Coalition for Better Ads standards. And as a result, I think it's looking a bit better. Now, as far as in-content ads go, what we could do is we could delete some of these ad placements. Honestly, 2 ads in a row, this is not good. And I got this set at the lowest setting in terms of like ad density on Ezoic for in-content ads. And still, it's kind of ridiculous to me how many are showing up. So the next thing that I would probably do is I would go in and find some of these specific ad placements and get rid of some of them. And we can do that using their Chrome extension, or we can do that right in our Ezoic account. In the Ezoic account, you just have to figure out which ad placement each one is. so that you can get rid of them. So that's really going to be our only option for removing more of these. I'd love to remove this one that's right before this video player, but also I hate having so many in a row. So I think I would reduce those as well still. But with the reduction of ads and nothing above the fold in terms of in content, only a side rail, a floating ad here, and the little video player. And I set it so the video player, it doesn't start playing until after the scroll, which I think is a good idea. Even with that, the cool thing is what it actually did to ad revenue. But first, there's something else that's really important that we need to cover as part of this project. So let's get back to that. Okay, so I have pretty good confidence that by making the ad experience better, we're going to get people to want to stay on the website longer. It's not necessarily because people will want more of what's on the website, but rather they won't be so turned off by the ads that fewer people are going to leave early. So that's good, right? Fewer people leaving early, but we also want to encourage them to stay longer. So I'm going to add a secondary challenge here. The secondary challenge is to give people more reason to stay longer. We're going to work on some internal linking. Now, we're not just going to add a bunch of links. I could use Link Whisper. It's a really good plugin. I do recommend it. And we could use that to create internal links across the website. But I want to do a really good job with these internal links of making sure that I'm pointing people to just the ideal resources throughout the website. And I want to make sure that I'm doing a good job of what we call selling the link, giving people a really solid reason to want to click on it. So in order to make sure that I have time to do this, because I frankly can't go update all of the blog posts on this website, I'm going to focus on the top pages on this website by traffic. So looking back at the last 30 days, I'm going to go through article by article, and I'm just going to show you one as an example. This may or may not be from the top 10 list. Once again, I don't really want to give away Lucy's best topics for this website. So I'm just going to pick one blog post and I'm going to show you exactly what this process is looking like. I've shown this before, but we're going to do it again right now. All right, awesome. So this is an article about horses and their sight. How do they see? This one here is posted in a category called trivia. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the article and I'm going to look for opportunities to link out to other content that exists on the website. But secondarily, I'm also going to look for opportunities where there should be other content I could link to on the website. And I'm going to make note of that because those are potential articles that we could add to the site and get substantially more traffic. Again, if you're doing this in your top blog posts, then everything that you link to is going to get at least a little bit more traffic and it's going to start getting it immediately. So if we have a good opportunity where there's a place in this article where, oh, it'd be great if we had another amazing resource we could link into, well, then it's time we go create that resource. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to look for other posts that say anything about horses' vision. All right, I just clicked on several articles that I think might be reasonable resources to link out to, like why do horses wear blinders? It could be interesting in this blog post about horse vision to say something along the lines of, this is why we often use blinders on horses to help limit their field of view so that they don't spook. In fact, I've already passed a few places where I probably could say something along those lines, and then I can link to this blog post. So this is what I did to help sell this link. I actually added this whole paragraph. This really wide field of view is actually why race and carriage horses often wear blinders. This kind of feels like a interesting fact, you know? We're talking about the field of view of horses and how it's almost 360 degrees. Wow. Blinders help limit horses' field of view so they can just focus on what's in front of them so they don't get distracted or spooked. This article that I wrote has a lot more information about horse blinders, when they're used, and how they can help reduce a horse's stress. Not everybody that reads this article is going to want to click on that, but a certain percentage of people will. And I can do that for probably another 3 or 4, maybe 5 of these other blog posts that I found. There's another one. I had to add a whole paragraph to justify adding this link, but I think it helps sell the link so much better than if I were to just basically put a link on one of the words in this paragraph. All right, I was able to add a couple of really good internal links in this article. I actually think though that this one, because it talks about something fairly scientific, may benefit from linking out to more scientific research, especially in these specific areas around seeing in color and depth perception. I think that would really help this article. There is at least one link here that links out to some research, but I think we could use a little bit more to just help solidify the position here and give, I don't know, just a little bit more credibility to the article. But overall, I think it's quite good. So we're going to go through all of the top 10 articles on this website and do something very similar to see if we can really boost that traffic throughout the site. Not necessarily the traffic coming to the site, but the traffic keeping them on the site a little bit longer. And hopefully that will help maintain our ad revenue, even though we're getting rid of a bunch more ads. The cool thing is that in the long term, if this approach helps maintain the revenue, this approach is also going to help us gain more credibility and have a better reputation, both with Google as well as with people. And that's going to help our website grow. Where websites that overdo it on ads and don't do a good job of keeping people on the website longer, they have a tendency to stagnate. And so what do? We just put more ads on and hope to make as much money as possible. This, I think, is going to help us grow again. And Future Ricky is back with results. It's now been 2 weeks and 2 days since I made the ad changes on this website. And I wasn't able to make all the changes to the top 10 blog posts all at once. I did that over the course of the last couple of weeks, so we're not seeing all of the impact from that quite yet, but I'm pretty encouraged by the results so far. So here's what happened when we reduced the number of ads on the website. First of all, our EPMV, which is our earnings per 1,000 page views, decreased. That's to be expected. The amount of ad revenue we earn per person went down by about 17.5%, but the total ad revenue went down by 11%. Now, the goal here was to see the ad revenue increase while we decreased ads. And I actually think that in the long term, that's going to happen, because by making the website a better experience for users are going to use it more often, and it's going to become more reputable. And who knows the impact that that may have, even if it's slight, the next time Google does a core update. But those kinds of changes take time, not something we could measure within 2 weeks. What that means is because the earnings per person went down by more than the total earnings on a percentage basis, the actual traffic to the website is increasing. The number of visits to the website, so the number of sessions on the site, increased by 7.5% over the last couple of weeks. And some of that's going to be due to the internal linking I did. Some of that may be seasonal. Who knows? There are a lot of variables that impact this. But the cool thing is a lot of that internal linking that I did was only done over the last few days. And so honestly, I think the overall impact is going to be bigger. Now, this site is nowhere near done. There are a lot of other cool things we want to do to it, and I'm excited to try those out. I'm excited to play around with the social media for this website and come up with a better strategy. I'm excited to play around a little bit with content and some other things. So we'll keep you apprised in future videos of all the things we do to this website and the impact that they have. But challenge number 1/1/2, I was going to say, is at least a mild success. Not something to get super excited about, but I think it's the right direction. And frankly, I think I want to go a little further on trying to remove ads. I suggest you probably do the same if you're seeing anything like what we were seeing on this website. Again, if you want to see how to do that and you're with Ezoic, make sure you go check out the video in Income School Insiders. It's available today, and you can see exactly how you can customize the ad experience on your website. I look forward to seeing you over there.